And we've got another sort of small segment here from Bret, and what he writes about here, which is very interesting. He says, and talking about the whole match here with, of course, none other than Roddy Piper. So here we go. Bret Hart obviously going in here against Rowdy Roddy Piper. This would be the fourth match of the night. And again, I watched this match back a couple of weeks ago. Actually, this was on, and I checked this out. I think Roddy Piper probably wasn't quite in his prime here, Matt. I don't think we're going to discount that, but the name power of it and all the rest of it does go a long way here, without a doubt, in a lot of ways here. For you, Matt, how good was this match? Did you enjoy this match? Is this something you look back on and think, this is one of Bret's highest points, or is it just about him going over on Piper at this point?
No, well, I think we spoke about this match before, and one of the things that struck me was just how kind of physical it was. And even though it's supposed to be a face, kind of almost a face versus kind of routine, it feels like they definitely went full steam at each other, and
sure.
Some of the collisions they had, it definitely leaves an impression in my head that they were definitely going non-PG at this time.
Yeah, they did do that. I liked the finish to it as well. I thought it was different. The fact that he kind of, he used that thing on the turnbuckle and kicked backwards and, then got the roll-up. I kind of liked that because it wasn't the traditional wait for the finisher type thing. I like the fact that they did that out of nowhere, and it was the first time that Piper had been pinned, which was quite a big deal. Bret would write in his book here that following the roll up, the 1, 2, 3, with the crowd cheering loudly, Roddy gave me a hug and told him, "Thanks, cuz, I'll never forget what you've done for me today." Roddy said, "I love you, brother," and literally put the IC title around my waist. "Now for the real work," Bret says. "I came through the curtain pretending to be concerned that I was going to need stitches." Now, the reason Bret writes this is because, again, as Matt alluded to earlier, non-PG, Matt, but there's a whole thing here because they did blade, and by all accounts they weren't supposed to, so they had to make it look like it was an accident, basically. And if you watch that match, they do a pretty good job of it, and to the point where when they get to the back here, Bret writes that the Chief Lanza and a bunch of boys gathered around me to see how bad it was. Chief brushed my hair away. He says, "Maybe a stitch, Stu, but you'll be all right." Roddy was there, concerned, apologising, as we both knew we'd fooled them all. Little did we know that Flair and Randy, who went on right after us, had secretly planned to get Juice too. So that obviously didn't go down too well with them, two that had to follow that. But I suppose that did make the match stand out even more, Matt. The fact that they did that, but again, they had to do it quite secretly. Did you see at any point where that come about yourself in that match, Matt? I've got to say I didn't, but I don't know if I missed it. But did you pick up anything where that happened, that moment?
No, definitely. They're both so professional that I actually kind of believed that it was genuine.
Yeah.
But even when I looked back on it, I kind of thought, okay, it kind of makes sense where the collision could have taken place.
Yeah, definitely. So literally, we're going to finish up there, folks, for this first chapter of the Bret Hart timeline here, and just going to finish on a fun fact. Hulk Hogan bought a new $2.3 million home in Tampa over the past 2 weeks to end the rumour of him leaving for Hawaii, which also makes the Japan gig less likely and staying with the WWF pretty damn lightly, reports Meltzer. So there you go. Hogan did sail off somewhat and bought himself a 2.3 million. We knew that house very well from the days of Hogan Knows Best, of course. That is the same venue there that we'd get. And also, just to finish off this one as well, I want to put out there that the Roddy Piper Bret match would get second in the polls of the best match of the night, just behind Randy Savage and Flair. Matt, do you agree with that, or did you prefer the Roddy Bret match? What one did stood out best for you?
It was definitely a close kind of call, because I remember both so vividly. But I think the whole story going into like the Macho Man one was like the throwing point for me. You know, it was just like trying to besmirch like Elizabeth like that. You can't do that.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for sitting with us through this first part. I feel like we're starting very slow here, but already I'm already sort of getting into the mood of finding out how much more comes along, because it seems like in a year, he's done quite well, and pretty much, if you think about it, Matt, I'd like to see the statistics, and I'll try and get them up for the next episode of how long he's actually held that Intercontinental belt for, because it does seem like quite a long time here. And I guess you don't really think about Bret so much. You do think of him as the Intercontinental Champion, but not holding it as much. I didn't realise just how long that span was. But pretty long time going here. So thank you very much, Matt, for this one.
No, I'm looking forward to the second part sometime soon here.
Yep, and I want to encourage everybody to check out the other timelines in the meantime. But until then, folks, thank you very much for listening. I've been John Scott, he's been Matt Essex, and we'll see you for part 2 of the Bret Hart timeline very soon.